Hello YouTube, this is Farmixilm, and I'm going to be trying to Ironman the entire Fire Emblem series. So this is totally unscripted, so I might get a little bit rambly, but I think just have a format here on how confident I am I can first try a game, or how hard it's going to be. So, first of all, I'll definitely start with Fire Emblem 1. A second. Where even is Fire Emblem? There it is. Fire Emblem 1, it's an easy game. I have beaten it once before. I mean, enemy AI loves to target Marth, so you just dump your stat boosters onto Marth and he just becomes kind of invincible because of how bad the enemy quality is in FE1. Then there's also units like Minerva who are just indestructible. Wendell, who's just a force to be reckoned with since magic does set damage and he has high base speed. All caps are at 20, so some units aren't going to be as strong as other games. So yeah, it's very easy. Should be an easy first try, hopefully Deathless. Then that also leads me to Gaiden. I have beaten Gaiden once as well. It's been several years ago. I am going to allow the Death Fountains, since Ironman is this older setting. I don't remember Gaiden being too hard. I have played the early game of it a bunch back on an old NES website like 16 years ago or so. But later game, I don't remember it that as much. I'm really not the biggest fan of Gaiden, so that's going to be an interesting one. So really, probably put in the first tier, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. So then next up, Fire Emblem 3. I really should have looked at this tier maker. There it is. Fire Emblem 3. I mean, Book 1, it's just a scaled back Fire Emblem 1. I'm not worried about that at all. Book 2, I've never actually played through all the way original Fire Emblem 3 Book 2 before. It's the only Fire Emblem I've never beaten. I have beaten New Mystery a few times. We'll get to that later. But it's overall a pretty easy game. Fairly short as far as Book 1 goes. I'm probably not going to allow Warp for Fire Emblem 1. I'll get to Shadow Dragon when I get there, but I feel like it's an easy enough game to where I don't really want to cheese it with Warp. And Fire Emblem 3 Book 2, a little bit more interesting, but I'm not concerned about it. The game has so many units that should be completely fine. Soon that leads us to Fire Emblem 4. The first game that's really going to be a little bit more interesting. I almost want to put it in iffy, as I've played through it twice, I'm pretty sure, and that was several years ago. Fire Emblem 4 is not the game I have the most experience with, and when I did play it, I mean, it's one of the few games in the series where you get battle saves, so you can just reset over and over. So as far as actually trying to play it like super optimal or Ironman style, I've never done before. So I'll have to brush up on like the optimal child pairings or like passing down everything to Seliph, and we should be okay. But if I lose deep into Gen 2, then it's not going to be a fun one to go back to. That leads me back to Fire Emblem 5. I'm pretty confident I can first try Fire Emblem 5. I think the difficulty is like very over exaggerated. Like, you see a lot of, like, newer players be like, wow, this is the hardest Fire Emblem game. Like, even years ago, like, early 2010s, late 2000s, I remember on the internet, back on dial-up internet, I remember reading about how hard Fire Emblem 5 was. Kind of fun we got around to it, like, years later, when a good English patch came out. And it's like, oh, this game's really not that hard. It's just has unforgiving stuff for new players, like, all units need to escape. If a unit gets captured, you're not going to get them until like, chapter 24 or something like that. I mean, it's like there's a lot of Gaiden map requirements that are just weird to receive. There's a lot of weirdness in Thracia, but once again, there's so many units. Like, there's scrolls you can use to make any unit good. There's a lot you can work with. I don't know how I'm going to restrict Warp. I'll probably allow it, but not directly just to skip whole maps. So that definitely leaves something like the Reinhardt map that could be an issue if I play like that. And I'm not too concerned about Fire Emblem 5. I think it's a fun game. You can do a lot of meme builds and stuff with. So that also leads me to Fire Emblem 6. Another game, even though it's kind of known for being a harder one, I'm going to put it in first try. Sorry, my cat was being destructive. Fire Emblem 6, the early game can definitely be hard. I expect to have a bunch of deaths in this playthrough, I will say. The one thing, though, is I am a little concerned if I can get true ending first go at. Just because of how much can go wrong. Like with Melody or Z-Stars, you lose it. If I lose both Z-Lot and one of the Nomads, I lose it. So I'm not concerned about beating the game. I think that should be no problem. But I really want true ending, and there's just so many ways to lose it. So that takes me to Fire Emblem 7. But overall, Fire Emblem 7, Hector Hard Mode, it's not that hard. But it is Fire Emblem 7. If you've ever Ironmaned it before, you know how much can go wrong in this game. There's the desert map with Pent, where if you're unlucky, he can just die like turn 2. And there's also Battle Before Dawn, where Jafar can just die. Nino, I think, faces crit against the monk. And Zephiel can die. Like, there's a few chapters that are iffy. I mean, there's Cog of Destiny that I've never been too good at, personally. But that'd just be on me, and I could definitely work around it. But yeah, there's just some chapters that are just out of your control that you can just lose to the green units. In Sacred Songs, I'll definitely be playing Ephraim route here, and similar to others, like, I've seen Davis's run, I've seen Mecha's run, where they've all played with, like, plus 20 or 30% enemy groups. So I will be playing a modified version to make it a little harder. So, should be pretty fun, not too concerned about it. I mean, playing Ephraim mode with boosted growths, there's a few Dodzy chapters, like, I know chapter 16 with the Siege Tomes can always be kind of Dodzy. I forget if it's the Erica version that's the Purge Tomes or not, or which one has Eclipse. I think the Ephraim one's easier, actually. Then there's Phantom Ship that could used to always give me a lot of trouble. But should be fun. Shouldn't be too bad. So then, Path of Radiance. Yes, this is Maniac mode. And it's the Fire Emblem game I've played the most, by far. And putting Maniac mode in first try might seem kind of crazy, but I did Ironman it once a few years ago. And I did it deathless except for racing and the rock map. I had several other close calls. But I do think Maniac mode has enough exploits in it. Like, you get the Oscar Earth support, you add Kieran to the mix, you can give Oscar Provoke later on and give, like, the Sonic Sword, and everything's just gonna attack an Oscar that just avoids everything. Like, and then Titania, of course, you get early game. You have plenty of options. I'm not worried about Path of Radiance at all. So next up, we get Radiant Dawn. I want to put it in first try, but similar to Fire Emblem 7, I mean, Dawn Brigade maps I could always screw up. Especially since it's been a while since I've played Vanilla Radiant Dawn, which I have played probably almost just as much of Path of Radiance. But a lot of times I did use transfers, and I'm just going to be transferring whatever I get from my Path of Radiance run. So if my Jill dies or something, and I don't get a transfer Jill, it's going to make Dawn Brigade a little dicier. I'm not going to be using Soph at all in Path of Radiance, so that's another transfer I can't get. There's a few things that could go wrong in Part 1 and like 3-6. Aside from that, I'm not worried about it. I do want to use a lot of meme units in this run. Like, if you've never seen Leanne kill Ludwig with a card in Part 2, you might be seeing it. Or like Raphael killing Jared. Like, we're going to do some very funny stuff in this game once we get to it. But yeah, I do the Dawn Brigade and just like green units like Jill, Taro, and Zahark in like 3-5, I think it is. Like, I don't feel confident in putting it first try. They're like, one survives, I could definitely just screw up and lose. But I'm looking forward to Radiant Dawn. It's a fun game. So in Shadow Dragon, I kinda don't know where to put it here. I'll put it in first try reluctantly. It's Hard 5 early game is very brutal. Like, there's going to be a lot of deaths this run. And I think I'm going to ban warp skipping altogether. So I can't just forge a wing spear and just send Sita to the boss warping Marth. At the very least, I'll ban warping Marth to the throne. So, if I ban warp skipping, then I'd probably want to put it here instead, but there's a lot of cheese. We'll think about Wolfen's Headguard when we get there, but it's a workable game, and it could be messy, but as long as I have a way to beat Medius at the end, it can get through the late game without warps, we'll be okay. So then Fire Emblem 12. Just straight up, this one's going to be bad. Not going to be doing Lunatic Reverse, that's for sure. Like, no way I'm Ironmaning bad as a first try on Lunatic Reverse. I have beaten FE12 a few times before, I think once on hard and like once or twice on hard 2. I did start Lunatic at some point and I just stopped playing it in Honoree's Way. Because where the difficulty really ramps up with like so many like group AI that's being hard to deal with. Do like 12 move wyverns with 1-2 range and like 20 speed. It's a hard game. It's probably the first game that's like really going to give me trouble. As I've never beaten it on Lunatic. It's already a game that's not designed around Ironmaning. So, expect a lot of cheese. Like, expect some Excelbum level of gameplay in this game. Because yeah, that one's going to take a while. So, in Awakening, I don't know. I haven't thought about what to do with Awakening. Hard mode is just too easy and breakable. Like, I could do hard mode with Robin banned. Maybe I ban Frederick as well. And if I do that, it's still going to be pretty easy, I think. Then there's also Lunatic, which I've never played Awakening Lunatic. I don't think it's well designed. And if I do Lunatic, it'll go in Fire Emblem 12 tier. Like, it's going to take me a bit to figure it out. The early game, and then Robin just kind of solos, which isn't interesting to watch. So, I'll probably just play hard mode and just do a bunch of restrictions. I'll put it in the top for now. I'll think about it. So next, kind of the game that made me want to do this. Conquest. I just beat it for the first time on Lunatic like a week or two ago. I had a great time with it. Like, I've not played Conquest since it first came out a decade ago. And I gave up on my first run in hard mode on Fuga's Wild Ride. Happy I came back to it. It's a really fun game. Very challenging at points. I'm putting it in will be here a while. The late game is brutal. You get the Hinoka chapter, the Takumi chapter. Sakura one wasn't bad. Then chapter 26 of the Hall of Generals and Berserkers. It's late game. I'm gonna have to like really kick it up. But otherwise, I think I can make it through, but it's going to be a hard one. So then it takes me to Birthright. I've only played on Lunatic once, and I did Magic only. This is right after this Conquest run. Early game, even with Magic only, it was just so easy. Like, it was a joke. Then I got to the late game, and it ramped up quite a bit. So, I think as long as I have an okay team going into endgame, we're fine. I'm just putting it here, because I've never did like a Lunatic Ironman or anything, and I've only played it once with restrictions, so. Late game, I know that final map seemed a lot harder compared to what it had been, but if I have a decent army, it's going to be fine. Roma exists, Corrin exists, it's not going to be that bad. So then, Revelation. Now, I'm going to put it in this tier. As a spoiler, I did just do an Ironman of this game, and early game was a disaster. I lost like every unit I had. Great Knight Jacob carried me through the entire early game. Then eventually my army built back up. I had all the royals. Well, Takumi and Sakura died, but it started going really well. And then I made it to chapter 20, I think. I was grinding up Odin because I thought it would be funny to use such a bad unit. And then Camilla missed the 95 against the Kenshi Knight. all my other flyers were being used as backpacks. So I had no other way to kill the Kenshi Knot, and it ran up and one-shot my live recording. And I just lost the run. So, it could be a mess, but I don't think it'll be that bad. So then finally, another game to put in iffy, Echoes. Once again, first game to have the turn wheel, not really designed around Ironmans. Like I was saying with Gaiden, Echoes is not my favorite. I hate the maps. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this game I don't like. And there's all the stuff I like. I haven't played it in many years, so maybe my opinion would change a little bit. But, I mean, Ironman a game like this, we do get revival fountains. There's plenty of stuff to play around with. I'll probably juggernaut it with like Dreadfight or Cliff or something. I have to look into it. It'll be an interesting run. I'm not dreading it, really, but it could take me a few tries. So then, that leads us to the game I'm probably dreading the most out of everything. Free Houses. If you ever played Free Houses Maddening, you know how stupid the early game is. Like, you don't have a Jaken, there's no Dragonstone like with Corrin, there's no Peridot, there's no Geralt. Like, you're just worse than the enemy, just by a ton. Like, early game's brutal. In like chapter 5 or so, you can recruit Catherine or Shamir, some of the other teachers, which help a ton. And then you eventually just start to snowball a little bit. Like, the maps get a lot easier once your units start promoting. And then the time skip happens, and yeah, everything just goes out the window. Like, the first time skip map is like infamous for the soft docking people. When I first played Maddening on Golden Deer, back when Maddening first came out, I breezed through the end of part 1, and then I got to that first time skip map and I just soft dock. I couldn't beat it, because I didn't use somebody Golden Deer. So, almost definitely going to be playing that on Edelgard route, because it's a little shorter, I'm pretty sure. And I don't have to play that first time skip map. I forget the name of it. Yeah, and I'm only playing for one route. The routes are way too similar. Hey, kitty. I got my kitten here. He's very cute. Alright, and then we get engaged. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, I've never beaten Engage Maddening. I started it twice and just got bored and stopped. This is really not my favorite game in the series. So, early game I remember being kind of hard. And then late game maps I remember being kind of funky at points. Yeah, it was probably the game I'm dreading most. And, yeah, spin-offs I'm not counting, so no heroes, no warriors, no anything like that. So, I guess this just kind of leaves the list right here. I mean, overall, I'm looking forward to starting this. I might start Fire Emblem 1 later today or sometime this week. I'll probably try to stream it 2 or 3 times a week. So, yeah, hope you all tune in. We'll see how many tries it takes me. Because one thing I do want to do is somewhere on the stream layout, I want to keep track of how many attempts it took me for every game, and my deaths for every game. I want to keep that on stream every time. So, hopefully it goes well. Maybe I could first try everything up to, like, Fire Emblem 12. That'd be great. I don't expect it, but we'll just see how it goes. Thanks for watching.